Conrad Hilton believed in the power of international travel and trade to foster world peace, and left guidance for the foundation to alleviate human suffering around the world without regard to race, religion, or country.
Whether you come from the nonprofit world, from academia, from government, from business, from entertainment, or from education, you have a role to play in taking on those challenges, in lessening those divides, and in helping our society and our world recognize and move toward its true north.
You know, all too often these days, the present can seem so loud that it's hard to hear the future. And the noise can make our lives feel like these constant run-on sentences, and our dreams can fall out of focus. But not today, not at this ceremony.
The worst thing about genocide isn't the hunger, the murder, the politics, the government-paid soldiers that chase you across borders and into camps. It's the silence.
If we want women's rights to move forward in a way where we really take a seat and have an equal partnership, we have to look at women across the world. And when we let young girls die of AIDS, when they don't need to die of AIDS, what are we really saying? We're saying that young girls' lives don't really matter.
To my mind, I think if we can have systems where we fund interventions that bring real change at the community level, I think we'll go miles and we'll achieve a lot.
We are here in existence to create social inclusion, and yet the report talks about our own complicity and complacency in social exclusion of women who are the most marginalized.
That bridge from intervention to prevention, that's us, that's men. Because while the overwhelming majority of violence against women and girls is men's violence, the overwhelming majority of men are not violent, but we're silent about the violence other men perpetrate, and that's as much of the problem as the violence is.
Less than 0.2% of global aid goes to civil society in humanitarian settings, and only a fraction of that goes to women's organizations. As we say in Women Deliver, a little polemically, women deliver and a lot more than babies.
When you think about reorienting the culture, it's reorienting away from a culture of individualism to something that's more communal, from a culture of rationalism to something that's more emotional, from a culture of utilitarianism that's something more moral. And that's a fundamental cultural shifting of the moral compass, but it produces better benefits than anything available on the other side.
Communities can and will come together to break the cycle of poverty for themselves. This is the future. This is the new true north. Change should originate from the people themselves, from people who are working to improve their own lives, their own communities. They are the leaders that will define the future of us. Thank you.
I think Kennedy and I both, just being here today, would have never thought that would be part of our story. The narrative of global development, I think, hasn't said to someone like Kennedy, you could imagine what the future looks like, you could do it. And so I think today is a really momentous day for that reason.
Ni uthabiti wangu, nyeusi ya wananchi na nyekundu ni ya damu, kijani ni ya ardhi, nyeupe ya amani daima.
There's no start date for activism and certainly no expiration date on dreams.